Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Shadow Empire, part 9 now, I think. I am Qualification. This turn, round 23, we have possibly good news. We killed 200 infantry and lost no one, at least in battle, so that's good. We have a lot of decisions, 8. We did just start the staff council last time, so that's probably what most of that is. 59 reports, okay. And we are in the later phases of the time of relative calm. In 5 turns, it will have completely disappeared. We've gained just this stratagem, which is unfortunate. I was hoping for a recruit junior. Okay, so let's take a look at the history real quick. We can see the start of the turn, they were bottlenecked in there. Let's go forward a tick. One of them moved, or no, that was just zona control was reclaimed because we moved out of there. Okay. And something happened on that front. Let's go up and see if we can't figure it out. The dog got another piece of the zone of control, and this thing did because we moved. And then up here, these guys are closing in, whatever they are. Haven't taken Tool Industries, that's good. The kills we got were against this rifle militia. Obviously, they weren't going to win that fight. I hope they don't take Tool Industry. And then this is going to be an adventurer party. So we can see their way over here. We'll get a quest, I'm sure, dealing with that this turn. Occasionally that happens. Scrolling out, look at the whole situation for a second. Doesn't look like the Junivale and Dunkelraum have attacked each other yet, and I also don't see any expansion from Dunkelraum to the south, so that's good. Looking at supplies, we did get, it doesn't, I doubt we got all of our supplies through. If we look at the used POS, yeah, so what we can see here, the red line, they got no supply, I think. Blue is partial, yellow is like half, and then green is full. The good news is everybody got at least partial except these guys, but they have enough stockpiled, they're fine. Do we have any chance to encircle this guy this turn, I wonder? Okay, there we go, that's good. And if we move here, can move there. Just trying to see if we can't get ourselves into a position to just take this guy out. 28 to 1. He's not going to be very entrenched on the road. It says 87% mod, but we mostly counteract that with the encirclement. Yeah, I think we're going to go for it. We just need to clear this guy. So we'll take the attack. 28 to 1 are good odds. Let's take a look at the graphical. Utter victory for us. We lost nobody and crushed them. They had no supply, right? So these guys aren't indies. They actually have a supply line. Therefore, being totally encircled like that is like horrible for them. They also had readiness penalty, and yeah, that was the main thing. But they did have a little bit of entrenchment. And then, of course, we did our attack from several sides there. Alright, that's excellent. So we've cleared up this road to Exeter. I don't believe they have any other units out here. They probably would have brought them in by now. And so, we're going to bring this army, which is to say our new 2nd Infantry Machine Gun Brigade. If I look here, consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Still just 500 privates in this one, though. We can see just how much better Privates 2 are to Privates 1. 4693 versus with the Privates 1, it's 2346, so it's twice as good. Very, very substantial upgrade for us. Interesting that the indies over here have not taken these. Our private oil well or the other hot springs out here. And I'm also glad they've not taken that. Of course, they did take over the little free folk town that was up here somewhere. Looks like I've lost sight of it, but not good that that happened. Now see, unlike the units that we were fighting down by Exeter, these are indies that just don't have a supply line. They just like forage in the tile they're in, so there's no penalty they take from lack of supply, which is unfortunate. Free folk join us. Impressed by stories of our stability and good governance, a free folk town in 9031 has decided to join us. They are requesting we help them hold their town. Your support could inspire more free folk to defend their town. So we could say yes, which would cost a political point. We'd gain 4 heart, 4 government. Look at our profiles. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt us to gain heart, but we don't need it. And as far as government goes, that'll put us over the threshold there. These are not controlling. No, they are controlling, just barely. So the problem with this request is, as you can see, this is the settlement that wants to join us. I guess it's 2 settlements stacked into the... Or no, sorry, that's... Okay, that's Ubi, the settlement. They want to join us. If we say yes, we then have made a pledge in the fashion of any other like campaign promise to hold this tile. And this unit, obviously, is not going to be in supply. This one right here is not going to have any supply whatsoever. And it's also several turns at best from being inside of our borders. I don't think it's reasonable for us to make the pledge. I'm going to say no. Why should we make promises to the free folk? So our advisor doesn't like it, but our Supreme Command Council and our military research both like it. So we're going to say no to that. Yeah. And incident with overambitious order. There's a bit of an incident. I met the people of the small community way out in the middle of nowhere and promised them the same okay, this is probably what happened. Living standards as our populace enjoys within the span of a single month. And frankly, while we did not succeed to deliver, the people will now say I'm a bit of a buffoon. The populace of Gapmount is angry, and there might well be some minor unrest. So, I mean, so for this one, we would increase our fist profile or decrease it depending on what we do. Increasing unrest is not something I'm keen on, considering our... Well, it's down to 10, I suppose. We could take a minor unrest hit. If I ignore his actions, we just lose 2 fist and gain 6 unrest. If I support him, we're going to gain 12 unrest and lose 3 fist. This is going down pretty fast, but I think that's kind of counteracted by the fact of like how fast we're civilizing, which is to say how many private assets we have in the city. Incidentally, let's take a look at the commercial area. So the commercial area actually produces population happiness and entertainment. And we don't know what the Waste 2 produces, but we are getting some substantial fuel income for free from the oil well that got built. How much money does our private economy? They still have a lot of money. They can still invest in a lot, so that's cool. That's good. I think we can take the relation hit. We're gonna lose fist for this, but I don't mind because we want to, well, pardon the pun, we want to increase our mind. So we're going to support his actions. He gets us a +4 relationship. We lose 3 fist. National budget we have to allocate now that we have a new council. So Supreme Command, let's bump that up to 10. Staff, 15 is fine. Model design, 11 is fine. 22 for military. Yeah, everything looks fine. So basically, all we're doing is shifting a couple points away from staff into Supreme Command. Seems fine to me. Staff Council is not like a super huge priority for us. Got to set our salaries now. Do we want to increase anything? I don't think so. Soldier salaries. No, I mean, our soldier morale is fine, so we don't need to increase that. And diseased employees could get help. Military Research Council has a small but significant number of bureaucrats that suffer from radiation-related illness. They would benefit if we install special treatment gyms for short but daily therapy. It's just heat lamps. The cost of these gems is almost nothing. However, I do have a headache thinking of organizing things. Well, that's a pretty lame excuse for, rejecting it. If we install it, we would gain a lot of heart, 15 heart, which would put us over the threshold to get heart, and it would also hurt our mind. We could do no special treatments. Maybe the cost is negligible, but we do not want to set the example. We are going to solve all discomforts from everybody. That's kind of a ridiculous position to take, honestly, but arrange for therapeutic visits at a private clinic. So what does enforcement give us? Enforcement controls our commerce, so we don't really want to increase it that much, I don't think. I mean, commerce is our biggest asset to this build that we have going on right now. Gaining 15 heart would decrease our mind, but only slightly. I think we'll go with heart. So we're going to lose a little bit of enforcement, which is good, and we're going to gain some heart. Now that does make our Supreme Command Council and our Supreme Headquarters person angry, and only our advisor likes that. But I also think this is just like sensible. It says it's just installing heat lamps to solve radiation complaints. Also, I'm curious now that I've seen this, if we have significant radiation to worry about. So we only have one person we could appoint to the Staff Council. This guy's somewhat suitable. I'm pretty sure Staff Council is based on interpersonal rating. Let's take a look at him. So that's also good, having operational command. He'd actually be a good commander. I probably discussed this last time I saw him, but pretty good for the role of commanding. But we can appoint him to the director of the Staff Council. Suitability rating of 20 isn't horrific, so. And now we look at the actual Staff Council priorities. So there's 4 things. The last one is just to generate cards, which we don't need. We'll set that to like 5%. Occupation governance is also cards. We'll put that a little bit higher. So then most of our stuff is going to go into these 2, which are basically the same as discovery and research. The big difference being the discover order of battle is how you figure out configurations of units. With the models that you have, this will put them into different types of like brigade. So with what we have now, we do have the artillery research. We are producing a model for artillery, but we don't have any artillery divisions or anything. Rather, we don't have a brigade that incorporates artillery. So if we wanted to make artillery, we would just be able to make it as an independent unit. This discovers the ability to like organizationalize or operationalize, I guess. It discovers the functions artillery could have. Operationalize actually creates it. So let's go ahead and confirm that. We're going to put a slight bonus to discovery. And we need a new commander for the 2nd MG Infantry, but we just don't have one yet because we don't have extra leaders. So if we look at our management for leader, no one in the reserve pool. Yeah. Do we have any strat cards that can rectify this? Yeah, I don't think we do. We definitely do want to play this private investment. Yeah, there's nothing. We do have 3 points. The Fat Merchant builds a casino, but the other guy, the Eager Industrialist, will build an extra level of light industry. And I also want to get this scientific outpost. It's free BP. This would deprive us of all of our fate points if we did that. Before we do that, let's just see if there's anything. No, nothing there. Alright, let's... Do we care more about IP or BP right now? We have a lot of IP. Private light industry also pays us money. Well, let's take a look at our cash flow. Slightly negative, not really a huge deal. I think we are going to go for the scientific outpost. It will pay the most long-term dividends to do now, so let's execute that. Now, somewhere in Gap Mount there will now be... Here we are. It's a pretty bad placement for it, frankly, considering that's on the border. But the scientific outpost produces 200 research bonus points, which are not the same thing as 200 actual BPs. But that will still be helpful. I'm going to just move this unit up here and move that unit there. Okay, I just want to make sure we don't lose that immediately. As for the fight that's going on down here, even then, I mean, we just have to encircle them and just like let them bleed on top of us. Do we move these guys out? I think the militia actually have, now that they've killed that unit, they have the road secured. They can kind of go back to sieging Exeter. So maybe these guys go in and start expanding. Well, we do want to push this direction for sure. So let's actually start heading up there with the 2nd infantry. This militia is just garrisoning in the capital right now. Okay. And why don't we just move a little bit like that? Okay, so we don't know what these are. Hopefully they're not the indigenous wildlife, so that it's something we could actually feasibly fight. And we need to leave these walkers here because when we do make a push to destroy that unit, we're going to use them to do it. This militia we could move, finally. So let's actually have him go this way. I want to start pushing this border to shore up so that we can't have them coming in. This part I'm not too worried about. I don't think there's other units out there from that angle. It's kind of a guess, but that's my strong internal feeling. We do need to make more ammo, as I can see there. We have plenty of metal and IP, so we'll make another, we'll make like 500, we'll say. That should be good for a while, 550. Okay, so that'll take care of our demand for that. Food is still good. We should be okay on that. Water, we're still producing well beyond what we need to satisfy our farm that we've built. Or rather, our agrodome. Now, this thing still has 1,000 workers. Can we close down the asset? I don't want to have any workers going to wheat field. What a substantial waste of all those resources that was. Unfortunate, but it's one of those things that, you know, now I know to check. By the way, let's check the radiation levels. So they are complaining about in our capital of it. I don't think I saw anywhere with notable rads on the planet when we were doing planet generation. And by the way, the safe growing temperature in this game for human crops is 15 degrees Celsius or so. And no rads anywhere so far. And the rads are just down there in the bottom right in case you didn't catch that. So I don't think there's actually a huge radiation problem on this planet. Most times there is at least a little bit of a radiation issue because during the apocalypse section of the game, you know, when they're going over how the planet you know, got wiped out, oftentimes nuclear weapons are involved, and then those create pockets of radiation. Sometimes also the planet just has ambient radiation from something or other. Yeah. Okay. Nothing else we need to do this turn. Everything's moved up there. Yep, we're good. Let's go ahead and end it. That was a pretty fortunate turn of events down there by Exeter. Honestly, having fought those Indies for so long, I had kind of gotten used to enemies that were free of supply concerns. So then having an enemy who you actually could significantly damage by encircling and cutting off was a surprise. So I was not really thinking that they would be as weak as they were. But as you can see, once you're through the phase of the game where you're kind of clearing out the barbarians effectively, then you're going to start just kind of... the enemies will play by the same rules as you, which is the more fun way to play at any rate. Then you can think a lot more about how you want to do things. Cutting off enemy supply routes, the positions of roads, these kinds of things matter a lot more. Alright, no losses, no kills, 2 decisions, 62 reports. And we discovered water soil recomposition. Okay, so that could give us higher level of water. Discovered the light tank model. Commercial project, another nice stratagem to just draw. We are expanding, yeah. And let's check the history. There were no battles, I don't think. No. Anything we need to know about? The guy over here moved. These guys didn't move. Okay, so they backed away essentially. I might just move in here now, fully entrenched, have the full entrenchment value of that city. Here, we don't want to actually move that unit too far away from its infantry headquarters. Just moving like that to get a few extra tiles. And these units are going to start... We're going to have them be pushing this way, but I guess they can come down here to help clear out those dogs, which I believe is the unit that is invisible to our eyes, sitting right here. So one of these things costs about 100 food. That's what a brigade of infantry with machine guns costs, roughly. Now this guy, how is he doing on his supply? Let's check the supply, used supply. So he's got 1, 2... These are mountains, so I don't remember exactly where it is. There's a way to check the organic AP that they have, but not sure where it is. Maybe it's here. Organizational info. Yeah, I don't know exactly where it is, but there's a way to see the actual AP that they have to spend to get to this province, and then that's what determines the distance that they'll travel. What is the private economy investing in? They just spent a bunch of money. Spent 568 this turn. They're building a casino, and they just finished upgrading the waste depot. So we are actually flying up the charts of civilization here as our economy just, our private economy just builds everything under the sun, which is just great. All then I have to worry about is kind of the research and the military aspects. If we get like actual armor, then, you know, like the light tank model we just researched, if we could deploy that against a formation like this, I mean, it's not ideal because you'd be fighting in trackless mountains, but say they were on a road, the breakthrough that the armor can do will just decimate that sort of encircled unit. And down here, let's go ahead and move people back into our sort of big flanking position that we were doing. And this guy, maybe, nah, we'll keep him down here. So, what about a ranged attack? We can do some artillery bombardment. No return fire expected, aka not possible. All they have are rifle militias, so not a great chance to hit, but may as well try it. All it costs us is AP and ammo, which we're not gonna use any more AP, and we have plenty of ammo. So that was a bust. Let's move this guy here, here, back here, so he should still be in supply range. Now we do have this city down here, Beatvere, just a little free folk town. It'll give us a bonus once we step on it, though. Now, do we have the resources to pull an attack off here? 44 to 1, it says. That's a bad recon, but let's give it a whirl as we whittle them down. They really are quite low on their numbers if we zoom out. We've lost 3, they've lost more, so okay, we did it. We killed enough of them, broke their morale, and then they surrendered. We did lose a few guys, including our warrior knight, who's, it's unfortunate. That's a very powerful unit buff. But you can see a lot of our units have the techno mages supporting them, which is pretty cool. That's because we're very mind focused. And hey, took out those guys. That's a huge win for us strategically, because now we free up that whole front. All we have to do is kind of create a front line here, and we can just start pushing. Supply-wise, we do have to take this really circuitous route, which it matters because supply trucks have to spend AP, which is determined the amount of AP they have by the truck depot, which, where is ours? Truck station. We have 1,000 truck points with 100 truck AP. Moving through roads is very cheap for trucks. That's why they can move so far. If we had one on a road, don't think we do actually, but you can probably see on, there we go, this is a unit that can move here, the recon buggy. They can move all the way up here in a single turn. That's just because their AP cost on a road is very low. Infantry don't really take, it doesn't, they pretty much have a static cost to get over most terrain, you know, mountains accepted, but they also don't get much benefit out of a road. Okay, so our blue brigade can be up here, I'm thinking, and the green brigade can kind of fill out this section. Then Exeter, the militia, once they take this, then we can have them fill in the rest down here. And we will want a 3rd brigade soon to just police and watch this angle as well. We are going to be taking over Exeter, and that's going to give us a 2nd zone, which I'm going to reassign that territory here, basically. And maybe even, well, we won't put Wheatfield in there, but the rest of this stuff we'll put in there. Did I order this closed down last turn, or was that Wheatfield? It is closed, so it does not have any workers now. That's good. Yeah. All right, let's look at our decisions. Riots and Gap Mount. Pay them to appease them, calm them down by talking to them. We guarantee a win there, so we're going to gain meritocracy again, which is fine by me. That's kind of what we're aiming on, so we'll do that. We rolled 141, critical success, because that's more than 50 of what the difficulty was. Unrest did not increase, and everyone liked that, and we gained 5 meritocracy. Cool. And we still need an infantry commander here. And we still don't have any cards to play to get one, which is unfortunate, but not a lot we can do about it. We do have a new card here, Commercial Project. Let's go ahead and execute that since it's very cheap. Now we have a level 3 a level 3 commercial asset. Where is it? Commercial area. And it'll factor in next turn, so that'll create for us higher entertainment quality of life and more happiness, I assume. Do we want to play the private investment card? Why not? That's basically always a good thing to do. We have the political points. Prospecting push is something we could consider as well. We still haven't found any deposits of metal, although we have not gained much territory, so we'll leave that be, I guess. 138, 3,100 credits. That's wonderful. And the private economy, they're sitting on 5,300 credits now. Just looking at the description of these taxes here that we have. Interesting stuff there. Alright. Our populace is almost at the next level, the next tier, which would be Big Town level 4. I think next turn we're actually going to hit that based on current population growth. We don't have a portrait ourselves. But if we wanted to attack, the only people we could actually send in would be those, and they don't have any odds to win that. But over time we'll be able to pull that off. May want to start pushing a second road here. The problem with going through these mountains, I think I displayed this before, but if we actually go to construct road and do a dirt road, and we wanted to construct from here, even a single tile is 320 industrial points. To get all the way to here, 640, and then it's only a minimal cost from there, but you know, it's pretty extreme. So building through the mountains is not something we can really do right now. Once we get real industry, which the main thing that's holding us back from that is the lack of metal. So we're just kind of waiting to find that metal deposit somewhere. And that will be our... Okay, Caro does still exist. I was kind of wondering if they raised it to the ground, but it still does exist. Okay. And is there anything else we need to do this turn? Let's check the urgent issues, bad supply. Where's that guy? Anyone have a black dot on them? No. That might have been something that only existed for a little bit and then we moved them and fixed it or something. So other than that, we do have missing commander, that's true. Low morale, we did just attack. And high unrest, but our unrest has actually went down. Sitting now only at 15, where it was 19 a second ago. What's our loyalty? All right, our loyalty is still good, so I think that's maybe the baseline for happiness. What it'll go up to based on current factors in the city. Short-term average casualty rate. Interesting. So that's affecting population happiness is your wartime casualties that you're facing. So casualty tolerance would be for a political factor, which is to say towards your recruitment and whatnot. And I guess we have recently spent a lot of our troops in recruitment and stuff. Anyway, let's go to the next turn. I do feel like we're losing some ground compared to our other major rivals because we kind of had a setback with the whole, you know, fighting Exeter / Grey State at the same time as we fought all these indies who were so strong. And then also, you know, Dunkelraum to our north at least, totally, I feel, lucked out in taking over Phoenix State or Queen State or whatever it was that used to be north of us. Because, I mean, they didn't even have it encircled when they took it, so I don't know how they pulled that off. They did have a pretty big army, but I don't know. They must have just been very lucky on the die rolls, I think, for that battle. Most of their army wasn't even in position to siege the capital. We killed 200 and lost 200, 3 decisions and 62 reports. We've discovered the new order of battle, motorized MG infantry army. So now we see we're combining 3 things we know about, which are trucks, machine guns, and infantry into a single order of battle. And we've gained these. Still no recruit junior things yet. Infantry attack. So this is one of those things that the staff council generates, I'm pretty sure. Posture. Got another zoo level. Yeah. They do want us to increase IP production. It would be nice. We don't have the metal to pull that off. And we have surpassed the 100,000 mark, so at any time we should be able to get a call from, in fact we may have one now. Militia learns from experience, opportunity to place some very experienced mercenaries. We've had this before. I mean, there's no reason not to, essentially, other than if you wanted to do bigger version of that. So we'll say yes, people like that. Minor worker strike. I think we're just going to... We have a big army in the capital, so we're just going to use force. 2,100, yeah, confronting 700 militants. Our troops succeeded. We gained 20 fear. We lost 100 troops. 200 militant workers were killed. So we do gain some autocracy for that, but I didn't want to pay them credits, so that's what we ended up doing. Now let's look at the history, actually, before we go further. What was the battle that happened? So, some rifle militia attacked us, and actually they managed to kill 200 of our privates. They just kind of got lucky die rolls, effectively, because we were defending, so they just sort of happened to get a high enough roll to hit that. I mean, I guess our starting units aren't amazing, obviously, but they're not weaker than random rifle militia, so we should win defensive battles. Okay, let's start having the blue team assemble. So we're gonna move that guy there, move him there. You can go there, and we'll move him into that spot. Then the green guy, you can move down here, and we're going to start confronting. Okay, and then we got our infantry headquarters, and then we have this militia unit, which I think I'm actually going to have him start going that way. I know I sent him out just like last turn, but having seen the map now, I'm more comfortable with that. We have infantry on here. Okay, good. Move them there. Move them there. Him here. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead and do a ranged attack, do some more bombardment. And what did we do? Whoops, didn't mean to hit the detail button. Textual. We don't think we're impacting their readiness at all with that, so we're just missing, basically just wasting ammo. But again, ammo's not really a problem for us. So on the small chance we have of actually hitting something while we kind of wait for better troops to be available, I'm okay with spending that. So, do we have any strat cards we want to play? We've got another zoo project. We're just going to play that. It's basically free. 5 political points. Very, very low amount of political points. And if we look at our assets, we now have completed Waste Level 2, as well as the Casino Level 1. They're now building Waste Level 3. They're very dedicated to cleaning up this city. Interestingly, our commercial area did not increase to level, or maybe we only had one. We may have only had one level of commercial area. It's possible. But Gatmount is very much, well, it's probably one of the nicest places to live on this planet right now, actually. This is the highest amount of like points like that I've seen this early in the game. Just because our private economy, we keep getting really good private economy boosts, and they keep building things that are useful for civilization. If we look at this, it says the next up is waste disposal, which is what they're building. And that cost a ton of money, but that's because it's a level 3 building. So that'll hugely boost quality of life in the capital. Now, we again don't have anyone that we can put in that spot, nor do we have any cards to allow us to play to do anything there. Now, we want to monitor the militancy level in Gatmount, which right now is at 74. You can see the maximum size has dropped from, I think our high water mark was like 7,200 or something. It's down to 6,600. These extras that we got have been from the walkers that we spawned, essentially. Not from the city giving us more militia units. And this guy did lose a couple men. Do we need to replenish that at all? No, it was just privates. Okay. And they were militia anyway, so never mind. Do we build a road out here? I think we are going to build... well, we could look at building a building too, now that I misclicked, but I gave myself an idea here. We could do something. Mining. Could upgrade this to the higher level, get double the metal that it's producing. It's tough to say. I mean, we really want... You can see, like, even the max level... Well, not max level, but the level 3 recycling facility. What does it go to? Level 5? Level 3 version still only gives 120, whereas a level 1 mine, for 1/3 of the workers, can produce 250. Which is why we really want to find an ore deposit. I can't believe we have not found one in all of this territory, particularly given like how much of it's mountainous. I'm glad that early in the game we claimed all this road up here so that we could have vision on what's going on. That's useful. Donkoram. We should play something on them. We theorize they control that territory then. Interesting. Blood space. I guess, do we still have, actually? I didn't look over here. Do we still have? We still do. We still have control over this unit. That's the unit that's out of supply. And they are just going to starve to death because we can't do anything with them. I guess we can scout. So let's just start walking. What do we have here? Derelict Ancient Mech. Military research bonus. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that that unit can do except for slowly die to starvation. Literally, as they are just too far from our country for instance to us to aid in any way. What were our current promises? If we look at our reports, we are considered to be truthful by our people, so that's pretty cool. We're gaining less political points per turn because the time is ending. Yeah. 112. Rocketry at 67. And that's 28. So they think this means we're going to get like a tier 2 military tech rather than one of the tier 1s. We may not have any tier 1 military techs left. Actually, we've not looked at our tech tree in some time. Let's give it a glance. So we still have, we've actually gotten all the military techs from tier 1. We still have some economic techs from tier 1, but they're not super important, I would say. Like, sealed roads is very important, but other than that, the hospital, the barracks, physical storage, these things don't really matter that much. We got all the important stuff, I would say. And we're progressing. Heavy industry is a very expensive tech, clearly. We've been working on it for many, many turns now. Rocketry. Partly we have been dividing their budget increasingly over time with the Model Design Council and the Staff Council, I believe, since the last Econ Tech we got. Maybe we upgrade the bureaucratic offices. The thing is, we do have more population now. I guess we could afford it in that sense. Maybe that's worth doing. Can we actually do it, though? If we go to government, we can. We can build it. Costs us 200 metal, so 400 total metal, which we'll have, and then 400 IP, which we have, and then 4,000 workers. It's going to cost some power. I think we do it. What's that? Political bonus points. BP, yeah, okay. Let's go for the bureaucratic offices level 2. Always a solid thing to have is a higher level of BP generation. That basically impacts our entire government. And down here we already did our bombardment, and over here we're still getting everyone in position for this eastward push. We are going to probably build some supply roads out. This guy can stay where he is right now. I'd rather have a smaller like militia unit garrison than that. Once the front pushes up, we can leave it. It's just that right now I don't want to lose this really heavily entrenched area to Indies, who will then entrench it. And the buggy can't do anything else too helpful right now. Just to check here, I don't think these actually have to be connected, unlike some things that you build. Pretty sure we're getting the full productivity from it. Some assets need to be on roads connected to your capital in order for them to actually distribute the resources they have. I guess one thing to look at here, so this ruin that the vehicle's parked in does have a scav rating. This is how much points it takes, or how many points in scavenge is left. You can see in the capital we have this much. That's what the recycling facility is digging up. So eventually that will run out, and it won't produce anything else. So this is really low. 4,000 is not really something that I would think is wise to like invest in. Checking if anything has no. Usually it's the ruins that will have the large scav values. But eventually we will find metal. It's just something that we don't have yet because we just haven't been lucky enough to find it. But as we push this direction, we will find it eventually. Okay, that's enough faffing about on this screen, I guess. Oh wait, we didn't do the zoo card, did we? Oh, we did. Okay. Did we do anything that we need to forget? Nope. Okay. Let's just end the turn. And this video is actually running kind of long, so I think what I'll do is I'll wait till it gets us to the screen where we can see the, summary, and then I'll end the video there. And we can pick it up next time. Or... well, no, I'll go at least to the screen where we actually can survey the map and we can watch the history of what happened, if there's anything interesting that happened in the history. I anticipate there might be some skirmishes, but nothing too exciting. I think we'll notice also as we deploy the Blue Brigade in battle, just like how much better our Privates 2 are compared to our Privates 1. I mean, we're literally fighting twice as effective, but as the entire fighting force. So that's pretty enormous change. And over time, our original one is getting better. Killed 700 infantry, took no losses. 4 decisions, 64 reports. 2 turns left on that. We've gained a feat, the capable supervisors. Not sure what tree that's part of. And because we found a new random settlement, we have found operational GR weapons. Allow us to let our reserve recruits form 400 Galactic Republic grade infantry, which have like laser guns. Got another private investment card. That's, I mean, we have hit so many of these. That's just crazy. Still no recruits. Another commercial project card. We'll play that. And infiltration, which we won't play. Let's take a look at the history and go to that battle. So it was 2 different battles. So the first one was this guy attacking here. Took no losses. That was into Privates 2 stack there. And then down here we had just the old-fashioned privates against some rifle militia, and they scored 400 kills. So what did anything of note change? No, not really. So yeah, we'll pick it up next time as we survey this new turn, start to get our eastern front put together, and yeah, it's looking good. See you guys in the next one.